Yo, what's up, everybody? Y'all already know what it is. Your boy MCXP Radio, A Reed, sitting here chilling for the BGSC Network. You know, we about to get into it. Week 2 news and notes, and we're going to talk about Colorado Buffaloes, man. Y'all already know, hottest team in college football right now. Y'all ready? Let's get to it.
Swagger pimp, yeah. Can't now another nigga like me. Yeah. Okay, it goes 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, rockin'. It's time for hip hop. On they reach watch, no sir, not for show. No bars made up for fairy tales. I'm trying for the tragedy, I know it well. So put your hands up in the air just for the winners. A peace sign, the pimps, the prostitutes, the sinners. We all deserve a second chance, but we products of illusion and victims of our own circumstance. Apply the pressure, I bet you can. Live the life that you love, shout out to Rand. Love the life that you live, shout out again. It ain't a tough pill to swallow once you comprehend.
And with that, you are officially kicking it in the Monday Man Cave here on BGSC Network. I am your host again, your boy A Reed, aka the musicologist. Y'all can see right down there, man. Where is it? Bam, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? Follow me. A Reed TV, follow the show MCXP Radio. Shout out to everybody on the BGSC Network. Y'all know how it is. I'm not going to hold you too long because I know we got some football going on. 2 Monday night games. Let's go Steelers. But I just had to throw that out there, man. We're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to touch up, man, here on the scores from this week. Give you some notable tips, or not necessarily tips, but some notable notes about injuries and stuff like that we found out, man. And also, man, I want to ask the question: do you guys actually believe in the Colorado Buffaloes this year? You know what I'm saying? But again, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in, joining in. Please, if you are watching it live, wherever you are, man, please leave me comments and everything like that. I will make sure to post your comments up there. We can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? All of that good stuff. All right. Let's get into it. It is NFL, man. It is week 2, man. And who could be more excited than me? I know I'm not up and jumping and going crazy, but man, it's just football, man. I just love this time of year. You'll hear me say it time and time again. I love being here. I love watching it. This is like a man's soap opera, so to speak. But man, this is just good entertainment, man. Good entertainment. You never know what's going to happen week to week. All of these teams are professional teams, so you do not know who's going to come out, who's going to have a good game, who's going to have a bad game, who's going to stink it up, whatever the case may be. But that is why you watch. Because the games that you expect, the teams that you expect to win, sometimes they just don't win for whatever the case may be. Hey, it is what it is, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Again, I love it. Let's go through some of the scores. All right, let's go through some of the scores that we've had for week 2. Hey, maybe your team won, maybe your team lost. Please put your comments in there, man. Let's talk about it. All right. We had Miami, the Dolphins, man. They beat the New England Patriots 24-17. Washington Commanders, who I still call the Redskins somewhat. The Commanders beat the Denver Broncos 35-33. Dallas Cowboys, they did their thing, man. Beating the New York Jets 30-10. San Francisco 49ers, they beat the Los Angeles Rams 30-23. You had the New York Giants, who actually came out. They bounced back from their week 1 debacle. And they beat the Arizona Cardinals 31-28. Atlanta, the Falcons, they come out, they win their game against Green Bay 25-24. Close game. Kansas City, they came out and they beat Jacksonville 17-9. You had the Seattle Seahawks, they beat the Detroit Lions 37-31. Indianapolis Colts beat the Houston Texans 31-20. The Tennessee Titans, they come beat the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 0-2. Golly, man. Come on, Chargers. 27-24. Baltimore beat my team. Cincinnati. We did fall 0-2. 27-24. Better game than what we had from the first game against the Cleveland Browns. Tampa Bay, they beat Chicago 27-17. We had the Buffalo Bills beat the Las Vegas Raiders 38-10, and Philadelphia beat Minnesota 34-28. So With that coming in, we have some teams that go 1-1. We have some teams go 0-2. We have some teams that go 2-0. Okay. Again, I am a big proponent when we talk about football that it takes about a good 4 to 5 weeks for your team to actually find its identity, to understand where they're going to be. It takes a lot of adjustments and understanding what is going on. So everybody that hits the panic button when their team hits 0-2, you guys have got to be loyal and honest and true fans. You can't sit there and necessarily trip. You got to sit back and watch how everything rolls. Okay. Sometimes there are adjustments that need to be made from your team. It just has to be made. Um, a lot of things can happen, man. Carryovers from the preseason and stuff like that. You got injuries. You got all sorts of things, man. So that's why I always say it takes about the first 4 to 5 weeks before you honestly, truly know the true nature and the true identity of what your team is going to be doing this season. So I always say you got to pump the brakes. You got to sit there and watch. It's cool to be happy. It's cool to be happy that your team is up 2-0. It's cool. It's also cool to be upset, you know what I'm saying, that your team is on 2, but that does not mean that you have to throw in the towel. 2 games in a 17-week season, that's ridiculous. That is crazy. And anybody that does that, man, you guys have got to get yourselves together. It is a marathon, it is not a sprint. Okay. So it has to get better. I say these things because as you guys can see, I am an avid Cincinnati Bengals fan. Y'all see the banner. Y'all see the hat. Y'all see the hats in the back. Bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? I root for my squad, and I have seen a lot of fans. And I have to say this, man. A lot of fans, Cincinnati Bengals fans too, and that's what hurts me the most. Some of the how can I be a more diehard fan and I'm not even in that city? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. People already want to throw in the towel because we're 0-2. People already want to call the season up 0-2. As I recall, we was 0-2 the last 2 years, man. Got to the Super Bowl and got to the AFC Championship 2 years back to back. So starting off 0-2, I don't consider that being such a good thing, but that's not nothing for me to even trip about. It is 17 weeks in this football season, and a lot of things can happen. Some of the best teams that you have that are on top right now will fall. Some of the ones that are at the bottom will rise up to the occasion and rise up to the top. So we have to sit back, we have to watch, we have to understand it, we have to see how it goes week by week, and we have to get ourselves in the right mind to understand that this is just the way football goes. That's why the hell I love it. That's why you guys can't tell me nothing, man, because this stuff resonates in my blood. I love NFL football. I really, really do. So with that being said, man, hopefully your team did do good this second week. If they didn't, stay loyal. Hopefully they will bounce back. Hopefully they will do what they need to do, man. But of course, me, I will bleed this black, orange, and white. Let's go Cincinnati, Who Dey Nation, all day, every day. Okay, that being said, let's move on to some notable news and injuries. One of the biggest news that came out today is Patrick Mahomes is going to restructure his contract with Kansas City, and it's going to save them about $17 million in the salary cap space. I think that is a good look for Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City, and that organization. I can't say that I'm a big Kansas City supporter or anything like that. We've had some notable beefs within the last few years, but you have to respect the team that is constantly good, man. You have to respect the team that is hot. Right now, they are on the dynasty spectrum, so to speak. Coach Andy Reid has done a phenomenal job of what he's been able to do with that squad, what he's been able to do with Patrick, Kelsey, all of those notable players. So you have to give kudos to where kudos is due. Until you, they're the best until you beat the best. You know what I'm saying? Um, Cincinnati has beaten them, but it has to be monumental. It has to be in games that count the most. Yes, we did. I believe we did beat them in the AFC Championship game a couple years back to get to the Super Bowl. But still, notably, it has become quite an entertaining rivalry. I always pay attention when that game was on KC and Cincinnati, man, because it's going to be It's going to be a fight, man. It's going to be a 12-round fight. So again, the Kansas City Chiefs fans, to that organization, they're doing a phenomenal job of whatever they're doing. I think that this helps with Mahomes. It's not necessarily about the money; it's them being able to save money so they can get notable pieces to help Patrick and that offense, and of course that defense. You know, he did lose Tyreek Hill. His receiving core has not been necessarily the top notch, even though they did win the championship last year. You know, but this will help them have some money on the books that they can go out and get another notable receiver that they can add to their passing attack. Do whatever they need to do on defense. Probably sign Chris Jones maybe to another deal, help him out, get him some more money to keep him around. So good job, good job. You know, Kansas City. You know, proud of you for making the moves. I'm always a fan of when teams do what they need to do to make it necessary in order for them to maintain the success of their franchise and their organization. So I'm always a big proponent of that, and I commend um, any organization that does that. Any organization that does that, whether I don't like them or not, I still commend them for doing that because they want to see a good product. They want to put out the best product out there. So hopefully, you know, we'll see what Kansas City does. We'll see how this progresses. But again, I think this will, in the long term, help the Kansas City Chiefs get to where they need to go. Hopefully, adding some necessary pieces to put around Patrick Mahomes and the rest of that team, and Andy Reid to keep it going. Excuse me. Um, injury updates. Some things that you may or may not know. Let's get into it. Saquon Barkley, New York Giants running back, he is out with the ankle injury. He will be out for about 2 to 3 weeks. This is kind of a sad thing at the moment because when you look at it, unfortunately, you know, this is somewhat a make or break year for Saquon. He did sign that 1 year deal. He didn't get the extension or get the contract that he wanted in the offseason. So this is a make or break year for him to get that money that he feels like that he deserves. Of course, we all know that Saquon puts up numbers. He is a workhorse. Um, very outstanding back when he is healthy. Probably one of the top five, maybe top three running backs in the NFL when he's healthy. So this does kind of put a little strain on him. I'm sure psychologically it's kind of bugging him a little bit. But at the same time, you know, this is football. This is the nature of the game. Like I said, it's only 2 to 3 weeks. So hopefully, it's not going to sideline him too long. You know, he is a fighter. He is a warrior. Saquon will somewhat, you know, he'll get himself back in order so he can get back on that field as soon as possible. Um, you know, but you don't want to see that when guys have that opportunity to, you know, get that contract, man. Get that contract. That's that thing that lingers over their head sometimes, and it sucks. It does suck. You don't want to get hurt, you know, in your contract here. You want to prove to your organization that you are who you say you are, that you can be counted on. But again, man, this is the nature of football. Injuries can happen at any point in time, in any kind of certain way, you know. So you just have to be mindful of it, man. But again, I think um, Saquon takes these weeks off. I think he gets himself better. I think he's going to go back and come back out there and still be a force to be reckoned with for the New York Giants, and hopefully try to propel them in winning that division in the NFC East, I believe. It's the NFC East. Uh, I'm pretty damn sure. I want to make sure though, because I don't want to mess up anything. You know, I got uh, Big Gang, Jay Stocks. They be sitting there tripping all the time. NFC East, yes sir, I'm right. New York Giants, who are 1-1 now. Okay, so I just had to make sure. That's what that is. Next news with injury, it's an update. This one hits close to home. My quarterback, Joe Burrow, day to day with a calf injury. He is unsure if he's going to play in next Monday night football game in the next week against Los Angeles Rams. Joe had a calf injury during the preseason, which kind of kept him, well, during training camp, which kind of kept him out of preseason, which is why you kind of see the slow start that he's been having. Not enough chemistry that he had with his teammates, with T. Higgins, with you know, Joe Mixon, with Jamar Chase, with Tyler Boyd, Ish Smith, all of his guys. So it does seem like he's a little bit rusty. And it seems like that his calf was good within the first couple of weeks, but at the end of the game, it looked like it kind of tightened back up on him. He was seen limping off of the field. Um, it is a day-to-day thing, so we will necessarily see. I'm sure that um, Joe and Coach Zach will be giving us some updates day to day to tell us how they're gauging this. We will necessarily see. Of course, I want to see Joe play, but in these instances, especially with him just signing a brand new contract, in these kind of instances, you do have to look towards the future. And would it be more wise for him to play in this next week game and possibly re-aggravate it even worse, or would you sit him and let him rest and get 100% healthy and then, bring him back? As a fan, I can feel both sides. I can understand both sides. I want to see Joe go back out there. I feel like, other players have done it before with calf injuries. They can go out there and they can ball out. But of course, everybody's body is different. You don't necessarily know how some people can tolerate pain, tolerate their pain against others. The unfortunate part is that these things, do happen. I'm glad that it happens now, early in the season, and that it didn't happen later on in the season when all the games counted. So with that being said, um, I would uh, I wouldn't mind Joe sitting necessarily. Um, week, maybe two, you know what I'm saying? To hopefully get that calf back right where it needs to be, where he feels 100%. But ultimately, look, I'm not the doctor. I'm not Joe Burrow. I don't know what he's feeling. I don't know what the pain level is. I don't know what he feels like. I don't know if he feels like he can keep going and that he can do it. But if he can do it, I'm sure that he will be out there trying to support his team, trying to lead his team to a win. Um, I just want to see what's best for the young man, him being the staple of that franchise. Like I said, signing the contract. Um, you just want to see the good. You want to see the good players, last. You want to see the good players last, and you want to see them be able to go out in the way that they want to go out. So hopefully we will have some updates here very soon on how Joe will be doing necessarily. Again, the calf injury. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks because that is my squad. But hey, Who Day Nation all day. Let's just see and let's just hope for the best. Um, but again, on my stance, I kind of feel like it may be at this point, with it only being 2 weeks within the season, I feel like that it might be a better thing for him to go ahead, rest, try to get it to 100%, and then come back and go full force, and we finish up the rest of the season and do what we do best. All right. Next injury news, which I'm sure everybody still remembers from the first week, but I did want to mention this a little bit. Aaron Rodgers had an Achilles tear. I believe it was 4 plays into the game against the. Uh, who was they playing? It wasn't against the Cowboys because they just played the Cowboys. Hold on, sucker. I got my notes. Damn, I can't even find it over here in my damn notes, man. Still looking like chicken scratch, man. Bugs Mike is strong. What it on? Still pay the week. Well, I didn't write it down in needs for some reason. I did not, but they did play. Um, They did play last week. Let me pull that up because I want to make sure that I get all of the information correct for you people. But the first game that they did play, uh, which was actually against the Bills. Yeah, yeah. They played against the Bills, and it just so happened it happened on September 11th. That's right. They played the Bills. Jets still ended up winning, but first four plays, Aaron Rodgers takes a step. He's getting tackled, gets an Achilles tear. He's done, quote unquote, for the season. Now, a lot of people have been already speculating and saying that Aaron Rodgers will not necessarily be coming back. He's up there in the age. He's 39. They're saying that this is Achilles tear. He's done for the season. That this injury will probably end his whole career. But knowing a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I don't feel like that he will take his loss like that. He seemed like to be the type of guy, honestly, that's going to come back and try to prove everybody wrong. At the same time, he did come to a brand new team. I feel like he owes that team just that gratitude. He owes that team, his chances to go out there and still perform, as he sees fit. Especially, signing the contract and bring some people in and all the hype that the Jets had. They were ready for this season, man. You had Jets fans claiming that it was Super Bowl, all these aspirations, and then just to see your guy go down within four plays and his season ends like that. So I don't feel like that's going to be the end all be all for Aaron Rodgers. I feel that at the end of the season, that he comes back for next season. Now, it's been speculation. It has been speculation in words necessarily saying that he may be able to come back during playoff times. But that is a big if. That is a very, very big if. And I say that because right now the Jets have Zach Wilson as their quarterback. And Zach did not look that well against the Cowboys yesterday. Zach, you know, he's a notable. I mean, he was a starter, I believe, couple of seasons ago. But you get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you already know that he's going to start. Um, excuse me, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for Zach Wilson to do the necessary things that he needs to do to lead that team into a playoffs. And now, of course, I'm not saying that he can't do it, but he has to put the faith, he has to put the trust in himself, and not only himself, but the teammates got to trust him as well, that he can go out there and do what he needs to do. He needs to surround himself with those pieces, man, and everybody needs to show up and help him. Defense has to tremendously step up. Uh, Jets do have a nice defense, but they need to tremendously step up to ensure that they keep the game close in order for Zach. Um, you know, to score points and hopefully win. They need to use all of their weapons. Bruce Hall, um, everybody, man, everybody. So I'm not saying that it is the end all be all for Aaron Rodgers, um, but a lot of people, and I gotta say, even myself included, when I saw him go down, you kind of saw the Jet season just kind of go right down the drain. And it is quite unfortunate for a franchise who has felt like that they have been cursed for such a quite a long time. And right when you get something good, something bad like this happens. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But again, this is the nature of football. Hey, y'all's quarterback went down. My quarterback has went down. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But let's see what the Jets do, man. I will definitely be watching out the corner of my eye how this drama unfolds for the New York Jets and that franchise. Again, it sucks for all those fans out there. I know y'all are. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. And I really did. Um, I really did feel. I was kind of excited because I did want to see, Aaron Rodgers in the new city on the new team. I wanted to see the man. Uh, I want to see the man do good. Honestly, I want to see him do good. To see him go down in four plays, man, it's just a freak accident. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of when Carson Palmer had went down, man, in that playoff game of Cincinnati. It was like the second play he throws that ball all the way down the field to Husmanzada. It's like the second play of the game, and his knee gets ruptures like ACL, MCL tear, and he's out, and then we got to put like John Kitna in for the rest of the game, and it was like, well, it's the end of that shit. So, but again, man, let's see. All hope for the best, man. Prayers to Aaron Rodgers and his family. Hopefully, he comes back stronger and better than ever. And again, I do not see that this is going to be the last all end all be all for Aaron Rodgers. I'm quite positive that we will see him at least another season, maybe even two, but at least another season. You will see him play season in a New York Jets uniform. So Jets fans, don't worry. It just means you just have to wait just a little bit longer. Yeah. All right. If you guys didn't pay attention, man, if you guys wasn't watching, college football has been going crazy. Um, and the most popular team right now has been the Deion Sanders led Colorado Buffaloes down there in Boulder. They just had a game over the past weekend. I believe it was Saturday. And even leading up to it, man, the college football series, they was down there in Boulder, Colorado. They had Wayne pop up, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He had showed up. A lot of notable celebrities and stuff have been showing up around Colorado, supporting Deion Sanders for what he's been doing with this Colorado Buffaloes team. Now, remember Deion, he took Jackson State. His first head coaching gig was over there at Jackson State down in Mississippi. Brought them to two SWAC championships, and then he moves over here to Colorado to kind of help them out. And they being in the Pac-12, he's trying to resurrect that college and everything that they're doing. And he's been doing an amazing job so far. He has his son, Shedeur Sanders, playing quarterback. He has Travis Hunter, a two-way player, wide receiver and DB. He has his other son, Shiloh Sanders, playing DB. He's got a nice little squad. The question is now that they have been 3 games straight that they have played. They beat TCU, they beat Nebraska, and then they just had this game that went into like double overtime against the in-state rivals, Colorado State Rams, which was an amazing game. I stayed up, I watched it. Went back and forth, and Colorado could have somewhat lost that game. They really, really almost did lose that game. But if it wasn't for Shedeur Sanders, um, doing his heroics and doing the things that he needed to do to get his team to go ahead and get that score at the end of regulation to help them out. Hey, more power to him, man. And Shedeur is good, y'all. Shedeur is good. I'm not taking anything away from that boy. I'm not saying it because he's Deion's son. Watch the boy play. Watch the boy play. Throws nothing but tight spirals. This boy is good. Okay? Very, very good. Shiloh Sanders, he's nice. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he needs to do in his father's footsteps, playing DB. Travis Hunter is a beast. That little boy is a beast. Now, I don't know if he can continue to play two sides of the field. I don't know. He's very naturally gifted at everything. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that because especially once he gets into the NFL, he's pretty much going to have to pick a side. That's not going to fly in the NFL. So he's going to definitely have to pick a side. But my question to you is, do you actually believe in the Colorado Buffaloes? They have a slogan saying, and I believe. Well, the question is, man, do y'all believe in what these guys are doing, man? I like it. I like it. I believe, man. I'm not saying that I am a bandwagon guy. I'm not saying that they're my favorite team because I really don't necessarily have a favorite team when it comes to college football or college sports, man. I just like to see the competition that these kids go out there and do. Because I feel like that they feel like they're playing for something special when it comes to the national championship. It's not about the money and everything like that. Even though we do have the new NIL and stuff like that, where the kids are getting some type of money. But these kids are playing for championships, for rights, for bragging rights, for all sorts of stuff like that. I am a believer of the Colorado Buffaloes. I want to give a big shout out and salute to Coach Deion Sanders. I've watched Deion Sanders, man, all my life. I've watched him be a DB, playing in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons, for the San Francisco 49ers, for the Dallas Cowboys, for Washington Redskins at the time, for the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm saying? I've seen this man play baseball. It's an amazing two-way player. You know, I've always been an advocate, man, of Dion, man. Loved everything about Dion. To me, probably hands down, one of the best, if not the best, cornerbacks to ever play the game. So you have to give this man a lot of his credit. He's got kids really truly believing in him. Um, and that's what you want from a coach. You want a coach that's going to inspire you. You want a coach that's going to make you go out there and you want to work. You want to play for that coach, man. You want to give you all 110% out there on that field for that coach because he inspires you to be the best. And it's obvious that he is doing that for the Colorado Buffaloes. So, yes, I am a believer in them. I hope. And it's funny because I had already called out. I said, well, they possibly win about 4 games, probably no more. I'm looking at their schedule, man. These guys could potentially win a good 8, maybe 9. You know what I'm saying? That the way that they're playing. Only thing is, and now that they've got film and stuff like that, they're getting scouted, so they have to make sure that they're on their P's and Q's every single game. Their next game, they're going up to Oregon. They got to play the Oregon Ducks, which is going to probably be a tough game. After that, they come back home to Colorado and they got to play USC, which is probably going to be another tough game. So these next 2 games are really going to be a true testament of how good Colorado is. But I expect to see an awesome game, awesome 2 games out of both of these teams. These next 2 weeks when they do play. Again, man, I hope you guys, I, everybody that supports, man, that's what it is, man. Because truly much deserved and is much needed. Like I said, I support it. I'm hoping that these guys do. I want to actually see Colorado go to the Pac-12 championship. I would love to see them win it this year. That would be a huge statement if they could win it this year, his first year coaching. And then you also hear all the negativity that it's been bringing. And I gotta love the backbone of Dion because Dion does not listen to the naysayers. He doesn't listen to the haters. He goes out there and he works week after week after week, and he proves to everybody that what he's doing is the right thing. And nobody can tell him different. So again, man, I got nothing but respect for him. Nothing but respect for what he's doing in that organization. At university, man, salute, man. It feels good. I know it feels good to come from being on the bottom of the barrel to now you're right there at the top, and everybody's putting your eyes on you. So obviously, he is doing something right. To all the haters and everything like that, man, y'all suck. Y'all just don't want to see some people be succeed. I don't want to take it to a racial thing, but it's become a lot of racial instances, and I hate that. If this was maybe a Caucasian guy, he'd be getting all the praise. But I guess because it's Dion and his so-called somewhat cockiness or whatnot, people can't get with it. But either way, Dion, MCSP Radio, BGSC Network, we support you, man. We love you. We thank you for everything that you're doing. All right, man. Guys, man, I didn't want to talk too much, man, but I appreciate everybody that was tuned in, logged in, and chilling with me again. You are tuned in to the MCSP Radio here on BGSC Network. As I always do, man, I tell you guys, man, if you're suffering from mental illness, anything that you got going on, man, please seek some help. I know I throw the line up there, but I tell you guys all the time, please. Mental health is real, and that is something that everybody needs to deal with. I've talked with therapists and things like that, man, to try to help me out and get through things that I have going on in my brain and stuff that I have going on in my life. Again, and I always say it, man, it's cool to have friends, family, and loved ones, that you can vent to. And sometimes, most of the time they'll tell you everything that you want to hear, but sometimes you need to talk to somebody who needs to tell you what you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? So, seriously, man, if you suffer from anything like that mental health, please, I beg you, seek help, man, and don't let that stuff take over you. Don't let it take control of you. You can fight it, you can beat it, you can be better. All right. For myself, man, for MCSP Radio, for BGSC Network, man, I am the musicologist Avery, man. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow. You know what I'm saying? Retweet the show, everything like that, man. Let's go Cincinnati, who day, all day, every day. We gonna get back to our winning ways. I'm not worried about it. To all the teams that are out there doing good, man. Hey, J Stars and the Cowboys, congratulations. Y'all are doing it big. Big Game James and your Tampa Bay Bucks. Shout out to you, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing it big. Two birds. Y'all, y'all feel it. y'all feel the team, y'all doing it, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know, we gonna come back. We gonna come back. So I'm not worried about it. To everybody, man, I appreciate you guys. You take it easy, man. Much love, and till next time, man. Till next week. Peace.
Dance on the beach or something, we can slide all night. Smoke a little weed or something, getting high all night. Got my brown on ice, and you looking right. In that see-through linen with that ass sitting right. You know how I do it, I'm a player for life. If I do like